something that would give me peace of mind. You make me insecure, I pretend that it's good when I'm not. 'Cause I'm hurting, 'cause I'm bleeding, going crazy. I need you, just give me, you can help me. Now because I'm a girl, you need to help me when I'm sad. You want to help me, but I have a girl, baby I'm not, yeah. Now because I'm a girl, you need to help me when I'm sad. You want to help me, but I have a girl, baby I'm not, hey. Cause I'm hurting, cause I'm bleeding, going crazy. I need you, just give me, you can help me. Now because I'm a girl, you need to help me when I'm sad. You want to help me, but I have a girl, baby I'm not, hey. I'm a girl, you need to help me when I'm sad. You want to help me, but I have a girl, baby I'm
All right, THL, welcome to Friday Night Fights. I am your stream op for the evening, Saku. I am joined by two well-established individuals within the THL community and within each continent, technically. So we got Nice Jewish Owl. How you doing, Nice Jewish Owl?
Doing well, doing well.
Good,
Glad
good.
to be back casting. Been busy with school stuff, so haven't been a regular, but it's always good to be on the streams.
Yep, yep. And then we have from across the pond, early hours, but dedicated, Rebobs. And how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. We might have a little friend
Hey,
join.
Doggo Show.
We got the Doggo Show. It's good
Yep.
to be here. I can get up late tomorrow, so I'm going to cast some Hearthstone this morning.
Appreciate it.
I hope we don't see too many control mirrors because it is still 2 a.m.
Yeah,
But it should be good.
if Friday was any indicator with, I think we had some kind of weird mirror match. That was an hour and a half of gameplay. So, well,
Yeah, I really hope our second match does not go that way.
So
There's
speaking
no
of
priests, so we're
hey,
good
there we go. Yeah.
We're not going to have us doing math of, well, if we burn the Meta shards, we can avoid fatigue for another turn.
Oh god, that was that Worlds?
Yeah, that was the final match of Worlds.
Oh
Yeah.
god, that was just awful. I felt so bad for the casters who were just like,
I'm gonna go for a drink and then come back and then we're good. So.
All right. See.
Yeah.
Didn't it have like 3 matches that all took over 2 hours?
Yeah, it was a nice string. So, but that brings us to our two individuals that are playing. We have a legacy match and we have a hero match. Just getting bands in from our legacy series. So, if you guys want to take over what they brought, what teams they represent, I'll update you guys with the bands.
Let's
yeah, sure.
go.
we're gonna have
Right. So it's first up. We got Hastur versus Eternal. So this match is taking place. So Hastur is representing Dad Legend and Eternal on ET Cthulhu. So this is second and versus third place in the Gold Conference in Legacy. There's only been one match played so far, so it's 4-2 to ET Cthulhu. And obviously, with the way playoffs works in Legacy this season, second place automatically gets the team into playoffs starting from next week. Third place means that you are in the running for 2 of the wildcard highest point earner spots. Whichever team doesn't get it, I think, is still somewhat well placed to make one of them, unless they have an absolute nightmare for the rest of the week. But moving on to the classes, Hastur with Demon Hunter, Hunter, Mage, and Warrior. Eternal with Mage, Paladin, Shaman, and Warlock. So, Al, I know you've got some thoughts about what this might entail.
Yeah, I think we predicted the bans a little bit. My expectation is that from Hastur, Demon Hunter is kind of a one deck class. You play some variation of relics and spells.
But there's like 4 different decks that you can do with the
4
relics.
different like groupings on HS Replay, and they all have the same spread.
They've all got like the same 22 cards.
Yeah.
And it's just what you make the last 8 cards.
Yeah, Hunter is pretty much just Beast Hunter at this point. Mage has a couple options with aggro or big spell, and then I expect in the 5 seed, Warrior is going to be in Rage. So my prediction was that Hastur was going to ban the Shaman away, but it looks like he's actually banned away the Warlock.
Interesting.
And Eternal has gone for the Mage ban, which is really what I expected. I think if your opponent doesn't have like Shaman, then you can. If your opponent doesn't have like Shaman or Rogue, or sometimes Druid, you just ban Mage because it's
Yeah, so
one of the other decks.
Shaman, when you talk about one deck class, quite literally, one deck class. I saw somebody apparently hit number 1 legend with like mid-range Murloc
just play
Shaman.
Yeah.
I don't know how bait that is. I've yet to try it out myself. Maybe we'll see that. Who knows? But what do you think about the Paladin and the Warlock on Eternal's side?
Warlock is like you can play Imp Warlock, you can play Curse Imp Warlock, you can play Phylactery Warlock. But weirdly enough, they all have basically the same matchup spread. So most people have just gone for Curse Imp because it's the deck that everyone has experience on from last meta. But Imp Warlock or Phylactery Warlock are both perfectly viable.
And now
Paladin,
there is Renathal Curse Imp Warlock.
Well, we aren't going to find out because it is banned. I do think the Warlock ban makes the Warrior very interesting, though, because like Imp Warlock was one of Enraged Warrior's best matchups.
So maybe we might be seeing a Renathal Warrior.
Oh boy, I'm excited to see some shield shatters, but we'll see.
There you go. So I just asked the players to get going here. So for our viewers, you're going to see Eternal be at the bottom of the screen or first to spectate for our casters. Hastur will be at the top of your screen. So
Game 1, I expect we'll probably see Eternal just run out the Shaman, assuming it's Evolved Shaman, because I don't know if it has a good counter queue from Hastur, unless Hastur's opted for King Mage. Oh wait, no, Eternal banned Mage. Yeah, you just run Enraged Warrior. Or you just run Evolved
Whatever
Shaman
warrior it is.
into, because it'll beat Enraged Warrior, it'll beat Spell DH, and it'll probably beat Hunter. You'll lose to Control Warrior, but I think you just assume Enraged Warrior.
So I'm trying to find Eternal on my friends list, and I cannot see them. But apparently they are my friend.
They're on mine, and it looks like we are seeing an Evolved Shaman up against a Beast Hunter game 1.
A classic matchup, that one.
And while I believe this matchup is Shaman favored, Trog on 1, Doggy Biscuit on 2 can make any matchup look unfavored.
Oh yeah, but then you just get Primordial waved.
Or you... Oh. I'm really not a fan of playing the Chisel, because if we hold the card in hand, we have a 3-mana null this turn, and that really cleanly answers this Trog.
Yeah.
So now we can button, and I guess we can play null and evolve it next turn, which isn't terrible. But if we hold the Chisel, we could have gone null, trade, coin, evolve this turn. I think slight misoptimization there from Eternal.
Apologies, I am trying to get into the game to see it. I've got people on my friends list now, so I'm gonna rely on you to tell me exactly what is happening.
Okay. Turn 4, we have a 3-mana null and a 1-mana convincing disguise. I really want Eternal to play this null, trade into the 3/5, and then evolve it.
I wonder.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, that sounds like the most powerful thing the deck can do.
Let's go. Okay.
And I'm finally getting into it, so I'll be able to
Alright.
actually talk about what is going on.
And now Eternal can make a different Tendra. And now Eternal can play Convincing Disguise and make a...
No.
and make,
Okay. I guess Eternal doesn't fancy a different Tendrop.
So
That's what is happening here. So this pet collector, I assume, is going to bring out the Asheran Saber, kill the Null, and then Eternal has some totems.
well, we do. Eternal also has Shadow Hunter Vulcan, which will turn one of these totems into Neptulon the Tide Hunter, which seems really strong here.
That does seem pretty good. Just make sure you don't play the schooling first. Does look like it's still going to come down.
Okay.
I think Eternal maybe fell into the trap there of, you know, I've got to keep convincing Disguise for tiny toys. The pool is for the Null. Bit of inflexibility there, but honestly, it doesn't matter. Neptulon's down.
Yeah, there's... We could have had a 10-drop on turn 3, but we still have a Neptulon on turn 5, so I think the Shaman wins either way.
Yeah, I mean, the 10-drop is still coming down at a turn much earlier than it should do. This school teacher ain't doing anything. Can at least remove a hand, so Neptulon is only doing 4 damage a swing, so won't be dead just yet. Eternal doesn't have the Bloodlust in hand, which makes this oh so much worse.
Okay. Oh, so that's...
Well, I jinxed it.
So there's a very cute play Eternal can do, which is trade with the hand and then evolve the hand so that Neptulon will then attack on his own. I don't know if he needs to, but it is a very cute line.
Yeah, that is completely unnecessary, but it is adorable. So it's nice that you pointed it out. But yeah, that is
well over lethal.
That game was so quick. I only got to see, like, I only joined the game about a minute ago, and I still saw about 33% of the game.
Well, that's Evolve Shaman for you. Sometimes you get an Neptulon on turn 5, and yeah. And when you're the other player, you say, GG, go next.
Yep, and, you know, that kind of highlights the weakness of Big Beast Hunter in this meta. It's kind of fair now. You play a thing each turn. Sometimes you get your harpoon gun, you play a thing like 2 turns earlier. But you know other decks are playing things like 8 turns earlier.
In interested to see what the counter cue is. Demon
Big
Hunter.
Demon Hunter, let's go.
Oh.
Big Demon Hunter.
Now, I'm no expert on the stats for this matchup. A quick glance at HS Replay says this is 70%.
To who? I assume the Paladin? Oh. This might be the first time I have ever seen a Sigil of Reckoning get played. Never seen it happen before.
Really? Clearly, we didn't play against each other in Hero a couple of seasons ago.
No, he was too busy sweeping me with Big Spell Mage.
Fair, yeah. Well, some people did get swept by Big Demon Hunter.
I think that was a season where you were on my team.
It may have been.
So you just kept telling me that you were sweeping with Big Demon Hunter, so I was like, cool, you're winning.
Yeah, this is a very Paladin favored match.
With every step.
I can imagine that, especially when, well, one, the Sigil didn't hit the Proving Grounds, which I assume is the point of the deck. But there is a second one, which can maybe do something. But Eternal isn't doing things incredibly quickly as of yet.
I'm very interested by the choice to play I-Beam as opposed to Hero Power there, because Haster does have Kurtrus in hand, and Hero Powering would be upgrading said Kurtrus.
Yeah, but counterpoint, there's a Proving Grounds in your hand. You're not playing Kurtrus in 6.
That is a fair argument.
Because it's the whole point of the deck. Oh, so we could go Sigil into this guy, the brutal.
After this minion survives. I've never seen that card before. But hey, it's a 9/9 with Taunt and Rush that we're gonna pull out of our hand for free.
Yeah, I mean turn 6. That's coming down from the Sigil of Reckoning. Two things are coming down from the Proving Grounds. Eternal hasn't got like the super quick 3-drop spell, keep hitting him in the face, say go, start that you probably want in this matchup. And Haster's been given a lot of time and has several big things.
I don't think Eternal knows what he is up against currently. Now he probably knows.
Yeah, that card's a bit of a giveaway, and like I said, first time I've ever seen it played.
But also, Coin, Blood Crusader, Countess, Light Ray does go hard.
The class action lawyer in Eternal's hand is going to do some serious work against this.
Going to go hard.
But yeah, with the counters here, we're going to see two of these guys come down. Eternal's hand started off slow, but
I am now just excited to see what this Proving Grounds pulls from Haster's deck.
Well, it isn't going to pull a Burning Blade Acolyte.
It may pull a Neptulon. I think we saw that earlier. That certainly seems good. Wait.
I mean, it's something. It's so close to lethal, but not quite. Oh, is there gonna be some kind of lethal that Haster can pull out on the next turn? So we're gonna.
Is often lethal here, isn't it? If it hits other things that aren't the 1/1, you just class action lawyer. 1/1 and then send the rest face, because you have 17 on board, so conviction would be 23 if you don't hit your knight. My instinct here would be like trade with knight, play conviction, see if you have lethal, and then play an invitation if you don't.
No, that there was a guaranteed lethal there. If the 5/1 went into the thingy, there was 13 attack on board, plus 6 from the conviction, plus another 3 from the Seal of Blood. It was exactly 22.
Wouldn't have enough mana to play the Seal of Blood though, because you would
Well,
spend
no, you-
2 on the lawyer. Oh,
No, you did need to play the lawyer
Oh,
if you
yeah.
did that,
Didn't
because the
need to play the
5 one would kill it.
yeah, never mind me.
Um,
I am interested in the double 1-drop over Invitation.
Yep, that could be a nod to Fel Barrage, perhaps. I don't see.
Speaking of Barrage,
Actually,
yeah,
that-
you Chaos Leech the 10/7, and then
yeah, you
trade
can
your
kill the
14.
2 big things.
Yeah. Or you can Chaos Leech the 5/3, trade both 4/2s into 10/7. I think both are the same.
Yes.
Yeah, heal for 5 and leave 7 power on board.
Yep.
Yeah.
This was fine.
And now Eternal will simply Invitation into Alakir and then win.
Yes. Mograine, that's pretty good.
It's good. Not
Just looking
lethal
for
yet, but
Big stuff. No big stuff here.
Apothecary Hellbrim is still in standard.
Yeah. I honestly forget that the poisons are still there. Oh, Draka. Draka is
synergy with
Draka's
poison.
lethal. Wait. This should be lethal, right? 5, 6, 7, 10 from the thingy. With a deadly poison, yeah.
Oh, it's deadly poison. For lethal.
Let's go.
Yeah, I believe some of the poisons were not lethal there, but yeah, Apothecary Hellbrim putting in work.
Yeah, if that had been a silverleaf poison, that wouldn't have been lethal. The paralytic one would have still been though, as it was 1 over. That
Is
was,
there any other
those-
poison?
I think it's those 3. Not off the top of my head, I'm not 100%.
I'm not sure either. It's been a while since I've played poison.
If you play that card in Wild, can you get Leeching Poison
Yes, definitely.
for that card? Well, so there was a lethal on the previous turn, which wasn't spotted, but that honestly, that lethal was way
That
cooler.
Yeah.
Mograine to deal 3, a 0 cost Draka, and then the guy to
Love
give
this
a
mage.
deadly poison.
Right. And
It
I'm a
is-
huge fan of Big Spell Mage.
Oh, I love this man. It's so cool, so fun. I really like it. Well, interesting that Hasta has kept the all fell breaks loose, because I can't imagine that. Like, I guess the 4/2s, those are demons, right?
Yes, you need it in hand early so you can build up the infuse.
It's like that card, even if you get the best possible scenario, still seems absolutely terrible.
5 mana summon 3 big demons doesn't seem that bad if you ask me.
Well, you need to get the 3 big demons to die, and
That is, of course, the trade.
and if you're getting 3 to die, they're probably smaller demons like the 4/2s rather than your big stuff.
Well, but you got 2 4/2s and 9/9. I wouldn't complain about that.
It's okay. This hand, less okay. Probably wants to look to getting a coin from this guy with the dispose of evidence. So
Yeah, I don't hate disposing this turn. I also don't hate holding it, because you can hero power down to 4/1, which is very appealing, and then dispose next turn, because you're ramping into a 6-drop either way.
yep.
Now we'll
The
see
turn
if
doesn't-
Eternal activates the Sanctum. Does not. Yeah, you probably
Proving Grounds into Proving Grounds.
Yeah,
Let's
turn-
go.
Turn 5 Proving Grounds. Don't know what else this deck could ask for.
And Eternal doesn't have like any of the real payoff cards. There's no Sorceress. There's no Belinda.
Yeah, Belinda Mage has not drawn Belinda yet, which is a shame. Alright,
Just-
let's Proving Grounds.
What's in the box?
Neptulon? Alright.
Shilon's in the box.
That is
Ooh.
certainly a turn 5.
Oh, it's interesting that if Neptulon comes out first, the hands go. But if Neptulon comes out second, Neptulon dies.
So remember game 1 when Eternal pulled a Neptulon from hand turn 5? Haster said, that was cool and all. I'm gonna do one better.
Oh.
I get a Neptulon on 5 and a 5/8.
Well, Belinda Mage drew Belinda, just as we were saying, didn't draw Belinda.
But importantly, it did not draw Rune.
No. I don't know what's happening.
Sigil of something. Pull the brutal Annihilin. And yeah, Annihilin. Next turn.
Anyone in chat who knows how to actually say this card's name, please tell us. Annihilin. It just sounds wrong.
It does. Well, Arcane Defenders isn't gonna do much.
It's actually gonna give this Annihilin a really good target to just do more face damage.
Annihilion. There we go.
That
was
sounds
my
even
attempt.
more wrong.
Yeah, I don't know what the right answer is, but it's definitely not that.
Oh, come on. It's entertaining
Annihilin.
enough as yeah. Annie. We'll just say Annie. Brutal Annie. Easy.
Big 9/9.
This is going some way to being just the stupidest game of Hearthstone I've ever seen. Let's just chuck it out a Xylag.
I don't think
Fine.
that works the way you want it to with all fell breaks loose.
Let's get some stalks.
Okay. So there's a cute play here. We dispose of evidence, shuffle back Gilag, then Chaos Leech our own 9/9, and then play all fell breaks loose to some. Never mind. I wanted to get all fancy with it.
Oh, that was the only mini left in the deck.
I guess this is lethal. Nice.
Yep.
Easy.
Do you remember turn 10? Do you remember turn 10?
Remember
Yeah.
turn 8?
That's a thing that just happens every now and then.
Remember when Garrote Rogue used to kill you on turn 8 and everyone complained? Good luck getting there.
Now I consider turn 8 a thoroughly rewarding experience.
Well, I suppose we will get to see more of this mage. Maybe Belinda Mage will draw Belinda again and win this time.
Question mark.
You can wave
Right, but
goodbye
will we
to
get to see the
Annie.
warrior? What warrior is it?
Oh boy, considering the Demon Hunter, I'm now excited. Okay.
What is Silver Fury Stalwart?
It's a 6
I've never
mana,
seen
4/8
this.
Taunt
I've-
Rush cannot be targeted by spells and hero powers.
I've never seen this card before in my
It
life.
synergizes with the newly buffed 1-mana spell. Okay, but I'm okay with
All right.
the.
We're
Boring.
hard running in Bash. We're hard running Bash in 2023.
I think the more egregious card in this hand is Guard the City.
All right, no, we got a trench
No.
stock.
No, it's still Guard the City. Okay, well, now it's probably Phelan.
I want to see what the intended synergy for this is. Because
Phelan synergizes with the 4-mana 3/5 that dredges. You know?
I suppose I've got to assume that there's From the Depths in this deck.
If you're running Trench Stalker and Phelan, there better be.
Yeah, there's got to be some mana reduction somewhere in this deck.
Well, play a Yeti on 4. Now, if you're
Right.
Eternal, do you play Belinda or do you play Barbaric?
Third option, Akani.
If you had a turn 4 Belinda.
Or a turn 4 Sorceress. You know that there is.
You know there's a coin, but
I just want to see this Spellbreaker go down here.
I agree. But I also think Eternal usually picks.
I
Minion
don't.
here.
Would you really pick Minion here against a really slow warrior deck?
You know your opponent has a coin.
Smell of manna in the morning.
So,
Okay.
very few things have made sense to me so far, and it's just going to continue that way.
Surely this turn we will see coin Belinda.
Yeah, definitely not Coin Sorceress now that the coin's been played. Yep, Belinda's coming. And
Belinda's
one
a
of
little
these.
sad that you're gonna have to discard one of these, but also you're not that sad.
And there's a rune. Crucially, got to play the rune.
Contact.
Aster's just got some stuff and some things.
Aster has a hand of standard legal warrior cards.
These cards are legal to play in Hearthstone if you ever get to the point of having enough mana to play them. we just got to curve 8 into 9 in this hat.
Buckler Shield Shatter is a pretty decent combo.
Not when your opponent's health is 6. There's 16 health and 2 minions.
Fair.
Right. I guess it's happening. I really. Hopefully, the attack with the Phelan happens before the Buckler.
Belinda.
Or is this just going to be
Buckler
just
and
Buckler?
Okay. I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of Buckler and Turn when you have Shield Shatter.
It does make Shield Shatter a lot worse, especially when you know you're going down to 0 armor on the following turn, and Shield Shatter is just literally never being played again.
So, perhaps this is actually a very, very smart play on Haster's part. You are telegraphing that you do not have a Shield Shatter, such that your opponent will overextend, and then you hit him with the Brawl.
Yep.
Now, does Haster hit him with the Brawl?
That seemed like a fairly simple decision to make. You got to hit him with the Brawl. And the winner is Akani, which is fantastic. So, you know, after it goes face this turn, there is still going to be a 0 cost Shield Shatter playable at some point. But the pickup of the first Parrot could make that a little
pretty
awkward.
small dragons. They do have more than 5 health, though. Important.
They are going to be 3/1s and not
Counterpoint,
dead.
they have less than 8 health. Oh, okay. Last stand. If we draw Asmodon the Great Shield, we get our own Drakefire Amulet.
Hell
and a
yeah.
Spider Tank.
No, it won't be a Spider Tank. It will be a 6/8.
Oh, true. It also wouldn't be a Spider Tank. It would be a Fierce Monkey because it has Taunt. I'm sure
there's like 3 people who actually still remember Fierce Monkey.
Fierce Monkey saw play.
Alex Straza's champion. What a guy.
That was a 3/3, 2-mana 3/3 charge.
Yeah. But 2/3 if you didn't have a dragon in your hand.
True.
The era of if you are holding a dragon was truly terrible.
There is a card in Standard right now that synergizes dragon.
There are so many 6 health minions. This just isn't fair.
Well, Trench Stalker will make quick work. A few of these?
Oh, and it
Oh.
goes face.
Okay. That is always the thing with Control Warrior, is that, like, you clear the board, you play some minions, and at some point you go, my opponent's lit, like, 10, and I'm going to play Rakara next turn. Huh.
Oh, Rikara when your opponent's at 10 is going to be a fantastic pickup. Eternal really needs the. That's really funny.
That is how that interaction works.
2 for 2.
For all those who didn't know that, I obviously knew that. 100%.
NJO had an inkling.
As someone who has played a few decks with Shield Shield, I was aware of how that worked.
And Eternal just given no respect whatsoever. Hey, there it is.
Well, that's not Asphodon. Sad.
Very sad.
School teacher. Clash of the Colossals.
Yeah,
The responsible pick is probably Snowed In. But Clash of the Colossals? Okay. The responsible pick is Snowed In. And then I think
Yeah.
you trade your 5/3 into the 4/12, Snowed In it, and then when your Lava Culture. I don't hate trading in 3/7 either. You can also, because it's not technically a spell, you could Snowed In 5. I really don't mind this.
this
Ooh.
seems fine. And what do we got?
Right.
Um,
I forgot those were on the bottom of the deck. Yeah.
yeah, there was always
Glug?
going to be some big boys.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Glug was the one I would have picked, though.
I mean, with the assumption that you're definitely going to play a Shield Shatter and then kill as much of their stuff as possible. Okay, is that good for Hasta? I think so. It's reduced some of those thick stealth minions down to a point where Shield Shatter will actually kill it, but it has also got rid of most of the armor. So the armor up Shield Shatter Glug plan is no longer in operation.
Yeah, Shield Shatter is still pretty effective here.
It's still good, but now it's the entire turn. Although the secrets that are up are Oasis Ally and Ice Barrier, and the Reckless Apprentice playing around the Shield Shatter perfectly.
Yeah, that was actually, I really liked that play of like, oh, well, if you Shield Shatter, Lava Gorger dies as well. I think that was actually a very heads-up play by Eternal. I like it. And so Hasta just drops the Glug. Okay.
There didn't seem to be much else to really do there, especially when you got a secret and you've got to try and play a 10 cost Shield Shatter and you haven't tested for any secrets yet. When you do 10 mana do nothing, you feel really dumb.
Indeed.
I'm not talking from experience there.
Surely not. Who would ever do something like that?
I have never done anything like that. So that is some information for Hasta that two of the secrets are now known: Ice Barrier and Visage. And the Glug has been frozen. And we've got to like the weirdest kind of board tension ever.
I'm not sure how much board tension there is. I think it's just Eternal sends a bunch of stuff face and then goes, okay, your turn.
Yeah. So, of the 8 minions on the board, 2 started in a player's deck.
Correct. There's Rokara.
Wait, is that
It's not lethal, but
because of the Ice Barrier?
sometimes there are worlds where it can do things. But yeah, it's not. Oh.
No!
Uh,
Oh! Oh no!
oh, and now exactly again.
Oh.
More credit.
Plus ping even without the Oasis ally. Yeah, that's a shame.
Oh, brutal. Definitely needed to
To swing with the
make that
forward
attack
force. Yeah.
first.
Oh well.
I think with the 3-6 coming up, then wouldn't have
Yeah, I
been
don't believe
enough.
it would have made a difference, but it is.
Every spell in Eternal's deck has appeared and either been
Eternal
discarded
does-
or played.
See the lethal, right? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was that thing of just like start playing cards and oh wait, they're
You're
dead.
getting XP. You're getting XP.
Yeah, you got to get that XP. So that is game to Eternal. 3-2-1. It wasn't quite as quick as we thought it might be after the first game, which took approximately 4 minutes. Got to see some thorough ridiculousness. Big Demon Hunter did win a game. Question mark Warrior sadly didn't.
Taunt warrior.
But there were barely any taunts in it. It was just stuff Warrior.
It ran the 6-drop, so I'll call it taunt warrior because I don't want to call it anything else.
It ran the guy whose name I've promptly forgotten because I've never seen the card. No, Trendstalker is sick.
Oh,
I won't hear it. I won't hear any
think it's like
Trendstalker slander.
Secondary stalwart or something. I forget.
We have Eternal joining us. Congrats, Eternal.
Thank you.
Can-
Really appreciate it.
Got it. Thanks for being on stream.
Yeah. Thanks. You're no problem. Always a pleasure being on stream to play for everyone.
So, first question: can you take us through your thought process when you were coming up against the Demon Hunter deck?
So I'm gonna admit that was a bit cheesy. Trying to get over. I didn't expect it to be. At first when I saw the Sigil of Alacrity, I thought it was gonna be Spell Demon Hunter. And then I saw that on turn 6 he was playing that Sigil that lets you summon a demon from your hand. And I definitely didn't expect Big Demon Hunter. And I think he was mostly probably trying to. I think he was targeting Mage. I get the feeling he was expecting me to go into Aggro Mage instead of Big Spell Mage. So yeah, I definitely I don't think it was more that I had a bad read on what he might be bringing, and it's more like he was trying to find his edges wherever he could, and decided to bring out something creative. And as you saw that in that match, I believe I was the paladin, right? He kind of got over me. His threats were too big for me to overcome. So yeah.
But
Just the mage, the demon hunter.
yeah,
The paladin,
the paladin, you got the
see
sick
big
lethal.
stuff, and then you hit him with conviction. It's like, well, paladin gets there.
Oh yeah, I did mess up the sequencing on that one. Yeah, I should have. Yeah, I definitely messed up on sequencing there, where I should have just I should have went conviction first, then put down the class action lawyer, and then I would have actually had the lethal there. I definitely messed that up.
Yeah,
it happens.
Pre-up spotted, it was like if you traded the 5-1, then conviction, then seal of blood, it was guaranteed, which I didn't spot it.
I definitely messed up that lethal turn. I definitely thought.
yeah.
So-
There might have also been a lethal with class action lawyer, but I didn't spot it.
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't
I
entirely
didn't
sure.
spot it very
But
well either.
but you got a way better lethal in the following turn with
Draka
the
and
invitations
Yes.
with the Mograne, Deadly Poison, Draka.
Draka.
Yeah.
People are sick of Draka. Well, here's your Draka.
Yeah, have a 0-cost Draka. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there
can't wait
was
to watch that over actually.
yeah
Doing
there was
VOD reviews.
there were definitely some highlights from like all the games. Just seemed to be some proper wacky
Yeah,
shit.
I
definitely.
was interested in game one. I don't know if you realized this, but after you played the Chisel on 2, you then weren't able to play the Knoll on 3 to answer the 3-5.
Yeah.
I we do have to ask, why? How come you didn't evolve the Null on 3, or was it
Uh,
4? Because
honestly, that's a good question. I
you played the
didn't
wind
really.
chill over the what's it called? Convincing disguise. That one drop spell.
So
We
yeah,
were expecting a 10 drop to come down, and then it just didn't.
yeah. I mean, I typically like hoard a lot of my convincing disguises for one mass evolve turn. I haven't quite figured out how I could best maximize it, even in its uninfused state. I definitely
Uh,
think that could have been an option. Uh, go like I definitely think that could have been an option,
yeah,
considering when we have a lot of powerful 10 drops in the game.
Yeah, but then
Like
you
yeah,
pulled the Neptune on turn 5, so it didn't really
yeah.
matter that game.
yeah.
I just drew the
The
nuts. Honestly, I
the
feel
the
bad.
Natchalon was gross, so it didn't really make too much of a difference. Like I was struggling to get into spectate in that game, and literally as I joined, the game was basically over.
Good old nipples. I mean Neptalon.
I love nipples,
So true.
and
Yeah.
then so the warrior had plenty of stuff that you didn't get to see because it died.
Yes.
Um,
I was expecting Enrage Warrior actually. I did not expect him to bring out the
so
Control
did we.
Warrior.
I don't know if I would call that Control Warrior.
Yeah, it was like big warrior, kinda like
It was like Big
I mean,
Warrior,
either way,
but
it doesn't have a good. Even either way, like with all the armor gain, like it doesn't really stack up very well into the meta. Like it just tries not to lose. That's how
yeah,
it reminds me of Blood Death Knight, where it just tries not to lose by armoring up.
yeah. I
Honestly,
mean,
yeah.
I
But
think
Blood Death
Control
Knight can
Warrior
gain like
has
30 health.
yeah, that's always a pain.
That
Yeah,
that deck just ran 9 drops.
yeah.
When was
And
the last time
when
you saw a
I
9 drop?
yeah when I actually played like a similar matchup earlier on ladder with Big Spell Mage. Like you outscale them very hard in the late game because of Rune and Drakefire Amulet and all your big spells that just creates big butts on the board where the amount of armor they gain doesn't even matter. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
and then that hero power which killed the 4-1,
yeah.
which he really needed to shield shatter, was
Hmm.
you know
Yeah.
pretty sad for him. I don't think he could have avoided lethal if that hadn't happened, but it was still pretty
right.
heartbreaking.
Yes, this puts your team
I
up
hope
now.
Hat doesn't kill me for freezing Glug. I know he loves Glug very much.
Oh, we all love Glug.
But your
Yeah.
team's now up 8-3 on the week, and this is certainly an important week in terms of playoff race. How are you? How are you and your teammates feeling?
uh, what do you mean? What do you mean? Repeat the question.
You're now up 8-3 on the week with this match, and considering we're getting pretty close to playoffs, how are you and your team feeling about the playoff race?
I think we have a good shot. I think like our first our 1, 2, and 3 seeds have been performing really well. Uh, and I hope that like we can get enough points to secure a higher placement. What is it? It's like a top 8, right? So like one team from a conference is gonna be kind
So
of
it's
getting
it's
the
gonna
shitty side of the straw.
yeah, so it's gonna be the top 2 teams from each conference will automatically get through, and then it's gonna be the top 2 points earners from whichever conference of the teams remaining.
Hmm. Yeah.
So uh
Because it's through
which is
conference, 18 teams plus an 18 playoff bracket. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think uh you're in the tightest conference
Yeah, that's
as
actually
it
pretty
stands.
competitive. That conference, Gold Conference,
Uh,
pretty competitive right now.
with the results from that match, it actually goes 96, 95, 94 on points, with different amounts still remaining in the matches. But because you and Dadlin, you two are playing against each other this week, I think really the worst thing that could happen for both teams is a really close week. You want one or the other to absolutely stomp, and so far you're well on the route to stomping,
Yeah,
and you
I
could
definitely
very
think it
well.
was not only an important win for the team, but I also think it was an important win for me because, as you know, I didn't really have that great of a legacy season this time around, unlike Nathria. So, like, I think this was a really good one for me, like in terms of regaining my confidence back. After this weird rogue DH meta that we've had most of this time. So,
Yeah, it was awful. Yeah, no, that actually put. So the two wins so far are actually from, I think, your two players who have been struggling this season. Then you got the three players who are rocking pretty good win rates. So I'd say you guys are looking pretty good for a shot at making playoffs.
hmm yeah. So hopefully we can make it happen. Hopefully we can make top four or this
Yep.
time. So
Well, best of luck to you. I
thank you.
think that is all we have time for question
Yeah.
wise. So thank you so much for joining us. Congrats and
Thanks.
best of luck to your team and getting into playoffs next week. And we are going. Any shout outs before you go?
Shout out to my teammates. Shout out to, like, for helping me prepare for this match. I was kind of especially and helping me figure out like which decks to bring. Um, with this, like, with it being 1 week into the new meta. And I hope, and yeah, I'm rooting for my teammates to uh to win their remaining matchups as well. So yeah,
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, Eternal. We
thanks.
are going
Later.
to have to boot you now. We
hmm
are getting onto the next match, which is a Hero Series match. Late Bloomers versus APM, always just in time versus Molestar. And this is I think it's second versus third in the Purple Conference. Uh, again, I think it's the last week of regular season, and Heroes much more straightforward. Uh, top four for both conference make it. So chances are both of these players do make it through, but it's all about seeding now. So, Al, Justin has the DK, Mage, Paladin, Warrior, and Molestar's got a Druid, Mage, Rogue, and Warrior. Justin's banned the Druid, and Molestar has banned the Pally. What are your thoughts on this? I know that you have some insider
Well,
info on
I have
possibly
some.
both of them.
I'll give you my predictions. I think Molestar is going to bring Ping Mage, Miracle Rogue, and Control Warrior. And I think Justin is going to bring um, a Blood Death Knight, Aggro Mage, and Control Warrior.
Oh, are we gonna get a Control Warrior mirror? I hope not, because I want to go to bed.
I hope so. So I can talk about why coining hero power is the optimal line on turn one of the Control Warrior.
Is it now?
Not anymore, but it used to be.
At what point in time?
So during Dark Moon Fair, because the matchup would always go to fatigue, and the deck had quite a bit of card draw in it. You would end up with a lot of cards in your hand that you couldn't play, and would end up like ditching cards to hand size throughout the game. So what I found out in testing was that at some point in the game, you're going to ditch the coin for hand size. So do it turn one to gain 2 armor.
Beautiful. I think my favorite period of Control Warrior Mirrors was just the Odd Warrior Mirrors.
Ah.
Guaranteed fatigue every time with the least packs every time. Like you can't top 30 like guaranteed fatigue with at least 10 cards of card generation in there as well.
Yes.
It was a beautiful time.
So you guys ready for the next match? I guess
Yeah.
We are
all players
ready.
are ready to go. I just told them to start ripping. So for our viewers, we're gonna have Molstar at the bottom of the screen, or first to spectate for our casters, and AJT is gonna be at the top of your screen.
I genuinely got very confused seeing Justin referred to as AJT.
No, it's
It just
Mole and Justin.
lot of animals here. We've got moles, we've got owls.
Moles, owls, Justins.
So, are you? What do you think Q order is going to be? As obviously we already hero match.
Yeah,
Queuing actually matters.
Actually matters. I expect from Justin, we'll probably see Death Knight first, although I'm not confident.
I make my
From
own.
Mole, it'll be whatever Mole wants to play. So probably Warrior. I think Mole likes playing that.
Nope. First up, we got the Rogue for Mole start. So that is just the Miracle Rogue. Is running the version that has Astalor in it, and Justin with the Blood Death Knight. So this matchup does take a while.
Do you think the Mole's choice of running Astalor might be relevant in this matchup?
It is hugely relevant in this matchup,
Yeah.
especially if Justin is running like a Viper. It makes a huge impact. I think the Blood DK is like maybe 52% favored against the version which just runs 2 Mailbox Dancers and no Astalor. Justin runs a Sketchy Stranger in Blood DK, as well as a Mutanus. So, you know, we're already getting screwy.
Yeah, I'm guessing he probably got some help with this list from Dankus, because I know Mr. Maffeo has been tinkering and figuring out the cards to run in Death Knight.
Oh yeah, this is 100%. This looks like a Dankus Dad deck.
Ooh, objection.
That's an objection.
Good.
Yeah, there's very few minions, and if there's an Astalor there, that's tragic.
Yeah, more often than not, I'm guessing he'll Ghastly, but that's still pretty decent. Or at the very least, it seems better than the other two options.
Yeah, I mean, the other two just really didn't do anything. And obviously, the Sketchy Stranger gives us the first of this match thought. What?
Yeah, worth noting because it is a closed list series, Mole does know going into it that Blood Death Knight.
Yep, you get the runes. Molestar whiffed hard on these concoctions, I will say. First one getting the 3 worst for this matchup, I would say. Best is probably Draw, followed by Card from another class.
Yeah. The usual rule is you want the ones that add cards, and if you don't,
yeah, summon a 3 cost, add a card that costs 3 less. Didn't get offered Draw in either option, which is a massive whiff.
Drop the graveyard here, makes sense. And then Justin will top deck Demolition Rod. That would have been really funny.
Yeah. So Justin has drawn the first answer to a big graveyard minion. Obviously, the nerf means they no longer have stealth.
No longer has
So
stealth.
you don't need to rely solely on Asphyxiate. Obliterate hits it 2 now. And Justin's just going to start playing really annoying cards. We're going to see a Carney, we're going to see Objection, we're going to see a whole load of other stuff, which just really aggravates an All-Star, who, it's got to be said, had a pretty clunky hand to begin with.
If Rogue has taught me anything, though, clunky hands, strong hands very easily.
Oh, absolutely, but it also doesn't have the tools to make that happen. You know,
Yeah.
I find the first step to that is the draw concoction.
There are 2 Gonfishins that can get some cards, and there is a card that says random in our hand, so you never know what that might.
It could get a 6-mana 4/8, which can't be targeted by spells.
3 mana.
Oh,
Or it could
that's
get
almost playable.
a Brucon. And suddenly we have a fireball button every few times.
No, every other turn, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Let's not be crazy now.
Ooh, Frostwolf War Masters. Interesting.
Right. Yeah, this is... It's
I-
interesting.
Owl!
Your namesake. Making an
Owl
appearance. And the Cutlass actually being played.
Looks like wanted to attack into the 2/2, but didn't quite get it in time.
Yeah, there seems to be a little bit of indecision there. I saw the attack being hovered over, but then didn't make it. And the...
Anticipate on Justin's end, we'll see School Teacher come down here. Just seems very clean.
Yeah, he's probably thinking, like, I don't need to use Obliterate on a 5/5. There's going to be, like, 12/12s coming down at some point, which are much better suited for that card. But actually just going to go for it purely for tempo. I think Justin's
I don't mind
thought
this
is,
either. It makes a lot of sense.
having seen the difficulty on the previous turn, just going to continue being as annoying as possible. Good Alchemist is going to allow the Astalor to come down, and we are going to get to see
As Mole going to play this
3 Astalors get played now. Unless this concoction is used now, which I doubt. Yeah. Molster's going to pass. And we're going to see something happen next turn. It's going to be Astalor, step, Astalor, step, Astalor, gone fishing. Frostwolf Maulmaster, maybe? So the Frostwolf Maulmaster being in the deck with Astalor seems a little odd to me. It seems like the kind of card you'd run when you are playing the double mailbox dancer list.
Yeah, I am interested to know what cards
Ooh.
there is in it. I could see a deck. Maybe he's looked at Justin's classes and has cut like the serrated bone spikes in favor of War Masters. I could see that making a lot of sense if you think your opponent's not
Yeah.
playing very proactive decks.
Justin is playing this deck very proactively.
He's playing a very proactive game plan, which makes a lot of sense in this matchup. If your opponent is telegraphing that they have a pretty slow hand, you can certainly take advantage of that. I think with this weapon coming down next turn, Mole's going to be in a really rough spot.
Yeah, he's honestly just dead in 2 turns, and I think that's just going to be it.
The 10 damage and the nerf to Astalor means you can't even gain 5 armor next turn.
Yep. Well, got some stuff. Got some stuff down, but the 5 attack on board, sorry, 3 attack on board with the 10 damage from the weapon over 2 turns. There is just nothing remotely approaching a possible 2-turn lethal on Molstar's side.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rogue, the old cliche about damage permanence. If you're dying, you dead.
Yeah, I assume on Justin's side, we're just going to see the weapon come. Cause
Yeah, Justin can't even afford to trade the 3/5 into the 4/1 or the Astalor if he's worried about another Shadow Step, but he isn't.
Justin,
right?
you have a 5/3 weapon in hand.
Yeah, the opportunity for a 2-turn lethal has not been taken.
Well, no, actually, if we hero power and then go face, we can then hero power along with the weapon next, and it is still a 2-turn lethal.
You raise an excellent
Just
point.
doing what Justin is doing.
Yep.
I'm not sure why he opted for this line as opposed to just play the weapon, hit face. Molstar did ban his paladin, so it seems really that there is a Viper in any of Mole's decks, but that would, I think, be an argument for why you would play around it.
Well, Monster's finally got something going. It's just a little bit too late. So like I said, the hero power with the weapon is going to get the lethal here, and Miracle Rogue is going to be out for Molstar. And the Blood DK with its wide array of janky stuff is going to make it through. There's even the Astalor for the 1 damage overkill, which hasn't been taken.
Well, no, you don't play the Astalor because you don't want Mole to know about it.
What's an extra weird card to let them know about?
This might put Mole in an awkward spot depending on what this mage is.
Yeah.
If
It's Big Spell Mage,
yeah,
I think it will be fine. I'd imagine even Ping Mage would do
don't think Ping Mage
okay.
wins. I think Ping Mage loses to Blood Death.
I mean, either way, the game's going very long, and if you can get your hero power up to doing like 8, 10 every turn, you're going to win. I don't know. I tend to think of it could go either way. I'd have to see that one to see how it goes, but I feel like Ping Mage might have a slight edge. If it's Aggro Mage, not fun. Aggro Mage versus a deck that can get like 60 health.
Yeah, I mean, the goal with Aggro Mage is that you don't give them the time for that. But of course,
and you play.
Sometimes your opponent hits you with a Blood Boil, and then you're in a rough spot, and then
that is, play Egwin as early as humanly possible in the game, and just somehow play 50 frozen touches through the game. It is a Ping Mage, and we're going to get to see how this matchup goes, and there is a Wildfire on 1. Good start.
I have no clue how you're supposed to mulligan with this deck or for this matchup, so we'll see what Justin decides to keep or pitch. I don't think you keep the Vampiric Blood. I don't think you keep any of these, but I could see an argument for keeping the weapon, honestly. 10-point life swing against a burn deck. It's fine.
Interesting. I'd say there might be some. Obviously, we have absolutely no idea, or at least I don't have any idea what kind of other early game, especially in terms of minions, are in the deck. Obviously, we saw 2 sketchy strangers, but that was good. Did Justin keep the Blood Boil?
I see you've brought guests.
I'm guessing if he did, that would be a hedge against Aggro Mage. Which makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Blood Boil seems very good against a deck that likes to play a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of 2/2s.
It is a phenomenal against that. Obviously,
playing the Wildfire that he mulled into and not the one he kept.
Because why not? Now the question: do you ping here? Do you play the Snow Flurry and ping, or do you play the Wildfire? Molstar's just going for tempo and not Hero powering.
Guessing planning on playing the Dungeoneer next turn and hero powering.
Yeah, I guess
But
the draw of the
Dragon
Dungeoneer has
Sense.
changed that. Prior to that, that was probably intending to.
Be merciful.
That is an aggressive obliterate from Justin.
I guess what else are you obliterating against Pig Mage? They don't really play that many.
Mordrush?
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. Mordrush. That's an Alexandrus Mordrush.
I mean, he's always going to show up in a Blood DK, right?
Mhm.
He's their triple rune guy.
And he seems pretty decent in a matchup that goes long.
Yeah, I think Mograine is actually like a super well designed card. Like in this kind of deck where you just want to grind for as long as humanly possible, just getting that consistent, just like
Or gold.
drip, drip, drip of damage without actually having to go face ever. It appeals to me greatly. Imagine if you could play like a card like that in Control Warrior.
That's like basically what Rikara does, because you can hero power face every turn. And that's one of the reasons that Rikara is so incredibly strong, is that it has
Yeah,
that
but imagine
immediate
if you didn't
attack.
have to spend mana to do it.
Yeah, that would certainly help. From Justin, I wouldn't be surprised to see Okani come down here. Your opponent can answer it on, but then they're being sort of forced to trade off all their stuff.
Yeah, it's either Akani. There's an argument to, are you really going to get a better Blood Boil than this? Now that you know it's Ping
Probably
Mage?
not. And I don't mind coin Blood Boil. The question would then be like, are you saving coin for something else potentially? Do you want to coin more grain on 6? Or maybe even if your opponent full trades into this, do you just coin Muncher next turn? No, Muncher kind of goes hard.
You just really wanted to say Muncher there, didn't you?
No, I think no Muncher goes hard. You know, they used to call me the no Muncher back in high school.
Did they?
No.
Who's they in this particular
course not.
scenario?
I'm lying.
It's somewhat believable.
Glad you find it believable that I was called a no Muncher.
Having met you in person, it's entirely believable.
Fair.
Right, so Monster is kind of reaching that point with Ping Mage where he's completely run out of useful cards. Really needs I'm assuming there's a multicaster in here, or an Arcane Intellect, or just Magus the Dawn Grasp to just say, I don't need any other cards, because the card draw is essentially just looking to get you towards the Magister.
Or perhaps an Arcane Intellect into Dawn Grasp. I'm guessing he would not complain about that.
Oh yeah, like draw into Dawn Grasp, or just Dawn Grasp is really what you want at this point.
And Blood Boil heals here, but also essentially negates the damage from the Dungeoneer and the rest.
And that's a whiff.
That is not any of the cards we just named.
That is one of the worst draws remaining in the deck. So, the question here is, do you play it, or do you keep it in the hopes that you are going to draw Finley? And then you can recycle these terrible cards into useful cards.
Don't know.
Because I don't think a 2/2 at this point in the game is going to do absolutely anything. You have just in a Blood Boil, so you maybe think, well, it's at least not getting Blood Boiled, so maybe it does something.
Is it ever you hold it in case you draw Frozen Touch, so you can use... Well, we might see a coin Ogreing here. I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's a decent opportunity to get it down. I imagine Justin is thinking, well, so that turn sucked. Are any of these cards Dawn Grasp? And if they Dawn Grasp, probably not going to get a chance to play Mograine. So now seems probably the best time. But again, if it is Doggrass. Do you just want to get the no munch down now when they're going to be basically skipping a turn?
What's the ordering between no muncher and is it
The
order?
2/1 would die, and then the no muncher would attack.
Okay. Ooh, this is a cute one.
And we're going to see the hero power going into the 3/3, I imagine.
Yeah, the Bran on board is a little spooky because now Mograine will deal 6 damage,
Oh,
and that's not that is
oh.
not a card right now.
That is a brand that lives, and you just don't want Bran to live ever in any game right now.
Now Molstar can play a Tazdingo without taunt. Our favorite. Because there's no vanilla 4-mana 3/5, right? That I'm forgetting about.
There isn't that I know of, but as we've established, I just don't know a lot
You
of
don't know
cards.
cards. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tazdingo without taunt is maybe the most appealing option. You can play an alibi to save 1. Yeah, this is.
no, you'd actually save
Well, you don't
4.
know Mograine coming.
And here it comes.
Here we go.
It's also just a 7/7
Yeah, it is a war goal.
War Golem with an upside.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty straightforward decision. Just to even trading off the Bran it's done its work. Oof. Oof.
This is painful to watch. This is what every time my opponents play Ping Mage, they slam Magister on 7. Every time I play Ping Mage, these are
This
my
happens.
rounds. This is what my hand looks like.
Well, at least there's a lot of solid alibis that are going to come down.
Yes.
That is basically the only thing going for Molster right now. So he's only going to be taking 2 from these Mograines. However, there's a no muncher, which I'm really liking the look of. Justin's just going for Astalors, which I also do not mind. Maybe we see.
They are also Shield Maidens.
We're just throwing out like really old card references left,
Shield
right, and
Maiden
center.
is in Standard right now.
I honestly forgot about that.
You can play 5-mana Shield Maidens in your deck.
All right, like Fierce Monkey wasn't a real old reference, and Alex Strauss's champion. And we're only just saying warrior cards.
Well, that's my area of expertise. Yes, Mole can solid alibi for 2 more turns. Maybe 3
Yep.
with Magister.
Yep. Magister would be a great draw. Mordrush would be pretty cool for most of the seat. However, Justin is approaching 10 mana, and one thing Solid Alibi doesn't protect you from is 8-cost Astalor.
Indeed.
Because, you know, when after Sire and Atheris, you know, when Solid Alibi actually protected you against, you know, the huge amount of damage in one turn, they thought, nah, let's stop that. Solid Alibi clearly needs to be nerfed.
Yeah, we'll see the Muncher come down this turn.
Your namesake. Old Munchy boy. And this draw is going to be crucial.
Okay.
Dungeoneer can draw a card. Frozen Touch is not a good card for it now.
There are probably worse options. I
Oh.
doubt what you want to see. There are probably worse.
This is so sad to watch.
This is tragic. This is one of those games where if you're playing on ladder, you would have gone next a while ago, but it's a THL match. You're on stream. Do you have to play it out?
Yeah. Yeah. The start was so promising. You know, tempo, wildfires, let's go. But no draw. I mean, actually, no. Did get two Frostweave Dungeoneers. Neither of them hit an AI. No sight of an
No
AI.
AI, no multicaster, no Vart.
No life. GG.
I don't hate just dropping an Astalor here. Certainly an option.
Could just drop two Astalors. Gain another
Yeah.
10.
Drop the 5 mana guys. Hematurge, discovering.
Yeah, could discover, say, another Blood Boil.
Did Ashbringer.
Got the weapon.
Good.
Alright, first Astalor's coming down.
Actually, I'm interested. Opponent doesn't have solid alibi on this turn. Like a good option to play, or a good opportunity to play that weapon. You know they're probably near future. That is.
Oh, and there's the
That's
concede.
the wrong Dawn Grasp.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
we'll get to
That-
see some Warrior gameplay.
yeah, like Molstar's decisions in that game were deeply limited. I think for the last 7 turns there was literally one play available. You know, I don't know that there were really many decision points on either side for that entire game. There was a decision between the Akani and the Coin Blood Boil, and
Yeah,
the Bran.
Justin
The Bran.
definitely had.
I think the main play from Justin was the Bran play, which allowed Bran to stick. That really kind of snowballed, and
Yeah,
then
I
the
think-
double Mograine.
Justin definitely played that really cleanly. There were a few plays that wouldn't have been the things that I would have done, and then in like hindsight, they were definitely the correct plays.
Yeah, I think it was so the Akani into Blood Boil into the Bran coin, clean up the board play into the Mograine, just really allowed Justin to snowball lead, and we're gonna see the Warrior
Warrior.
and I haven't seen From the Depths in a long time actually be played.
If this is the deck I think it is, there are some cards in here you really haven't seen.
Oh, I'm excited.
So you know how they printed colossal minions for every class in
Yeah.
Sunken City? Well, they also printed this neutral 8-mana one, Ozumat. And I believe Molstar is opting for that colossal over the 7-mana warrior one in this deck.
Did you just say that there was a hard run Aussie mat in a Warrior deck?
Yes.
I see you
Is the thinking that Aussie mat Shield Shatter is a guaranteed board clear of anything?
Ozumat Provoke.
I see. Still mental, but cool.
If you are interested in
And
seeing this list, feel free to check out my pro decks from the week.
Justin's just really nailing these objections. There's a jailer in here as well. This is fantastic. I don't have a clue what's going on, but I'm along
This
for the
is-
ride.
This is what we like to call Mole Warrior, where it runs a lot of bad cards, and then for some reason Molstar still finishes like single-digit legend.
Job's done.
It's definitely a player different deck. Places.
Well, we're gonna get to see it.
Yes.
Who here can spell Zinjari? Anybody?
So that kind of choice of the Nagalings really kind of, I think, gave us
Let's
some
know
insight
what we're
into
in for.
yeah, you know, do you go anti-magic shell because you're like, I'm going to try and win the game, or do you go for vampiric blood because you're just like, I'm just never going to die?
My opponent is not going to win the game.
Gone for the spell counter there.
Yeah, I mean, the warrior deck really doesn't play many cheap minions, but it plays a lot of cheap spells that easily answer Ani. It makes this from the depths very, very awkward. Let's try and play it this turn. Might see him forced to use a shield slam to get rid of Sokani.
Yeah, I think the obvious route here would be shield slam from the depths, but the annoying thing about that is you can't then draw with your weapon. So actually chooses to
Makes
throw the
sense.
heavy plate and then just attack, use the forged in flame.
Yeah, this makes sense. Efficient use of mana card. So there's a Viper in this deck, but also Mole Band Paladin.
And Justin didn't bring Rogue.
Well, I guess it will get rid of a corrupted Ashbringer, potentially.
Yeah, but we were you really expecting the corrupted Ashbringer to be showing up that regularly?
No.
Because I wouldn't.
I don't know. I'm not the one who built this warrior deck.
Or it could just be Mole's ladder list, which he didn't take out the Viper.
That is the most answer I believe.
Like, Monster's on 12 health, because this is not a Renathol deck, so it doesn't get you 5 extra health. So
I imagine we'll see just Buckler Shield Slam from the depths this turn.
yeah, that looks
Want
pretty
to get
appealing.
the depths
Yeah.
down at some point, even just for card selection, I think. Okay. Shutter. Expert Shield Slam instead of just drawing the axe.
Yeah, so maybe the thinking is do this, get the clipboard clear this turn, the next turn is going to be from the depths. Shield block, shield slam.
Yeah, it is a little obnoxious that this is a control mirror. Death Knight kind of just slams minions. And that is certainly a minion to slam.
Oh, I adore Patchwork.
No more Jailer for Mole.
Yep. How impactful the lack of Jailer is, no idea.
I don't know if Mole was winning this either. Rokara's good. That's like 10 points of burn. Our opponent's now at 32.
Yeah, so Mole has 12 cards left in the deck, and I honestly don't know what the win condition is yet.
So you draw all 12 of them, and then you play Sir Finley and shuffle 9 back in. See? Then you win in fatigue.
Right. So Mole is 15 cards.
Snap pick.
Yep, and that's a second Mograine. Yeah, also it's worth noting that, well, one, there's 2 Mograines played, and 2, Mole is 15 cards ahead of Justin in the draw.
Yes. Justin has played 2 Elysiana, 1.5 Elysiana at this point.
The good old days of Elysiana Brewmaster. Really doesn't want to see a Mograine come out of here. She's a Hermitage. Finally get to see the From the Depths kept in the opening hand.
There's Astalar.
Cool, that's step 1.
So you can now play Finley, swap his hand with cards that are maybe not that much better, but are discounted.
Yeah, I mean the double discount on the Provoke is not ideal.
Yeah. And Justin will try Corrupted Ashbringer and probably play it and hit Mole in the face with it.
That was a hard run rune forging, by the way.
Yes.
Really wants that corrupted Ashbringer.
Justin is now at 52, and Mole is at 3. Okay, here's how Mole can still win.
This Blood DK just... Oh, sorry, it's Charge Warrior.
Yes. HS replay stat guy. Say, because it runs Captain Galvanga. Fucking charge it.
It is the closest thing that I have seen to a win condition so far.
There's the Astalor. That counts.
It's probably not gonna...
There's the
Oh.
Rustdraw Viper. Here's what...
It's gonna do something.
Not getting any better. This Viper is not getting any better. Yeah.
It is absolutely not. Well, that was a decent turn. There's another corrupted Ashbringer.
Maybe the Viper would have gotten better.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that this deck was not brought with the intention of winning any control mirrors. Which just begs the question of when you're playing against Warrior and I don't know, maybe he was thinking there was going to be an unholy DK, perhaps.
May not have expected the blood, because it definitely isn't a deck a lot of people play.
I definitely wouldn't have expected this particular build of the blood deck. With all its different cards. There's a Theotar in Justin's hand.
Yes, indeed.
Just to really, compound the misery.
We might see the Theotar come down this turn.
I think there's a good chance when there's 2 cards in Mole's hand and one of them is Astalor.
Justin is also at 55.
Oh yeah, and also doing 6 damage every single turn.
Ah yes, Corpse Explosion. I'm sure Mole will use all of his corpses.
Oh god.
Okay. Will we at least get to see the Aussie this game? Is Mole dead to the... He has to... Surely. No, I guess he's not dead to the Astalor this time.
Not
Wait. Obliterate Astalor. Yeah, Obliterate Astalor is lethal.
well,
Be merciful.
the warrior deck just looked like it was intended for like aggro mage and holy DK. Just did not have anywhere near enough value for that
I
matchup.
believe it's the exact 30 cards that Mole played for ladder finish at the end of last month.
Yeah. And control mirrors do not
Knew
exist on
that.
ladder.
Justin knew that and said, what if I bring a Death Knight that definitely beats this warrior deck?
Apparently beats everything. That DK deck. Yeah. I wonder if Molstar had like a big spell mage, might have gone a little differently. Just didn't really have a counter to just
Yes.
which is so rare right now. But Justin made the read, and it worked out pretty much perfectly, getting the clean sweep. And we have Justin here now.
We do.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Justin. Congratulations.
Thanks. It was
Yeah.
an interesting set. There were 2 sets played at the same time in this series of me versus Mole and G-Kick versus Wild9. Death Knight went 6-0. All other decks went 0-6.
Interesting.
Were they also playing the same build of Death Knight?
No, they were not. Wild9
Oh.
swept G-Kick with Unholy DK, was what I heard. So.
So yeah, I mean, I think most questions just revolve around the cards that were in that DK list.
What's questionable about that? It's just like a standard Dankish Dad 4D DK with, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 tech cards there from the standard list.
Such as rune forging.
Yeah. Oh man.
Rune Forgings,
He played that
Sketchy
card before.
Strangers.
It's one of the Dankish Dad 50, you know? It's in the mix.
Aren't there only like 50 DK cards?
I mean, there's a lot of neutrals. We're not getting we're not putting Volpera Scoundrel or Venomous Scorpion in our deck. Those aren't in the 50. Those make the 60 or 70 though. When Hearthstone makes an EDH mode, they'll be in the deck.
Oh, I can't wait for Hearthstone Commander.
The 99 card Hearthstone.
Yeah, but like the weapons seem pretty good into his decks. I mean, All-Star and I are both interesting that we both kind of just bring what we feel like. In this case, what I felt like bringing was very good into what he felt like bringing. So
Yeah, he just didn't really seem
was
to
like-
have an answer. Did you kind of think, like, how much of what you knew he likes playing were you aware
these were
of?
definitely the 3 decks I expected to see. I mean, I wouldn't have been shocked to see Thief Rogue. Basically anything else I would have been shocked to see. He just doesn't play other things, which is respectable. I mean, he doesn't use stats. He goes off of his own ladder experience, and his own ladder experience says he's favored into everything because he's a very good player who is.
Yeah, that's like every time I look at a mole deck, I go, "Wow, this is like
Yeah.
doesn't look very
He like grinds
optimized."
ladder a lot. Right? He'll like post his spreads sometimes of like ladder stats, and sure enough, he'll be favored into everything because, well, Molestar did.
And there's certainly the advantage of when you play against Molestar Ladder, don't know what he's playing.
Yeah, that too. Where he like tweeted out that warrior deck earlier this week. It's like, okay, that's a lot. You can get cheesed by Jailer into Provoke a lot easier if you don't know what's coming, or Ozamut into Provoke. Oh yeah, I mean, he's been playing Ping Mage a lot recently too. Yeah, isn't really much of a player of the other decks. And Miracle Rogue on Legend last month. Yeah. Pretty much just the 4 decks he's been playing alongside Celestial Druid, which I banned because Blood DK was a lot more fun facing those 3 than it would have been against Alignment Druid, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I can certainly imagine. Yeah,
Time
he
is
just
for
didn't
you,
seem to really have an answer for greed whatsoever.
I mean, Ping Mage into DK is favored on paper for the Mage, though Dankus Dad certainly says it's DK favored, and having scrimmed that a few times, I think I would agree with that list at least. The extra 10 cards you add to the deck are very good against Ping Mage that the standard list doesn't run, like the Corrupted Axe Springer, like the Disrupt package. That's basically the difference between the 30 and 40, and then as a bonus, you get to start with 5 more HP, and that matchup normally turns into a race. Obviously, that was like an extremely polarized outcome of him drawing all bricks and me sticking a brand going into turn 7 and actually drawing the one of more green in a 40-card deck with no draw. But like,
yeah,
that can happen.
The brand setup was very nice, but he did draw like absolute arse.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those
quite
series.
a few
I
times.
messaged him like in the middle of the 3rd game when I generated the 2nd more green off the 2nd Hemature, just like, yo, this isn't your day, dude.
No, it was definitely not his day.
Or even I pulled objection into Okani in game 1 to like deny the Miracle Rogue curve after dropping down the the location, just like slow up that game plan. He was on play and didn't hit like double yellow off Potion Belt. He hit 0 yellow. He whatever 84% of the time you hit at least 1 yellow. He hit the 16% low roll. Like, oh man.
Yeah, he also only got 0 yellow and 1 of the reduced by 3.
Yeah,
and just got the other ones.
So high variance too. So I mean, I guess that was one of the better outcomes for him of proc my first objection, but like yeah. Just was not his day. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Nah. Yeah,
well, interesting dynamic of 2 sweeps, 1 going each way during these matches that have been played in the past hour, because I don't know if you've been following playoff standings, but it's like 3 teams for 2 slots basically in this conference for teams getting into playoffs, but not the bye, because Clowns have basically locked up the bye. So it's these 2 teams going head to head, and then the other APM team in this conference that are going against Clowns. And so far, not many points have been have been won by the 3 of us, with 2 sweeps in this match, and then in the other APM versus Clowns, the APM has gotten 2 points from the first 2 matches. So
From the first 3 matches.
oh, first 3? Is there another result then? Oh my.
Yep, it's another sweep.
Another
For
okay.
Clowns.
Well then, maybe it's a 4-team race for 2 spots. Is someone gonna come out of nowhere? I wasn't paying attention.
But no, I think that just means it's just the other APM are just completely out.
I guess maybe. Is anyone else even close?
Yeah, no. It's just the 3
Well
at the
then,
top.
it turns out we didn't need to win this week, but like, whoa, I should have. Well, I guess I can't PR manage because I'm 550. But yeah, good on Tab and G-Kick for PR managing. They knew it all along. Totally not nervous when we started this week down 0-2 and prop most of the time winning in for playoffs.
Yep. You
They
just
knew
need
it
other
all
people
along.
to lose. Easy.
Uh,
Yeah. Like, I honestly feel like there isn't too much more we can ask you about that series, because it was...
no, those are just some cards. I don't know. What time
Yeah,
is it for you
card
right now,
time.
Rebob? Why are you awake? It's Friday night, I guess? Saturday morning?
It is Saturday morning. It is 20 to 4 in the morning, and I don't
Oh, okay.
have too much to do in the actual morning tomorrow, so thought I'd cast some Hearthstone.
Here
And I got
he
to talk.
is.
I got to talk to Al for a while, and we just kept naming old warrior cards.
Oh, yeah. Would any of the old warrior cards bailed them out there? If he got down like Ralgor and then like double double copied it the next week, then it might have been a close race. Like
Yeah, if he played Rattlegore and then he
the
played
60 HP Death Knight taking whatever 27 a turn, that made the game a bit close. I think I still would have won though.
probably.
Maybe.
Okay, what if he had played Soulbound Ashtongue, Silas, Shield Slayer?
Yeah, that one would have been as close as triple Ralgor.
Okay.
No.
What if he played Dead Man's Hand along with a bucket of like Hammer plus Forged in Flame plus double
There's something there.
Rose-
There's something there.
There's some.
If you keep shuffling Depths and Cold Light Oracle, you can go pretty crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Cold Light Oracles it adds to deck are not given with enchantments, so they still cost 3 mana, so you gotta use Depths again. But, like,
What if he just had Baku?
that was also not one, but you know?
Yeah. Taking 6 a turn doesn't beat gaining for a turn. Okay.
That's just
Anyways.
pure abuse. That's all.
Yeah, thanks guys, as always, for putting this on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Congrats. Good
thanks
luck
for
in
being on
playoffs.
Great, yeah. We're
And
we are shaping up to finish the regular season on like team record at 3-4. Hopefully, the regular season hasn't been too hot, but you know, maybe we'll bloom late.
Yeah. Now the season actually starts.
The preseason
Yep.
is over. The real season begins.
get it?
Yep.
So, well, I am going to go to bed. Saku, got anything more to add before we shoot off?
Yeah, I just want to thank Justin, Molestar, Eternal, and Haster for joining us on stream and giving us some great topics to talk about. Even though they're sweeps, some stuff we could handle, some stuff we couldn't. Sunday, there's nothing going on Saturday that I know for THL, but on Sunday we do have 3 matches, which I'm just trying to queue up here right now. Maybe, kinda.
Maybe.
My old man APM is not working right now. So we got 7 p.m. Eastern Hero Series match with Geranium Battle and Diamond. 8 p.m. Eastern Wild Series, Dankest Dad versus Jacques Keener. And 9 p.m. Eastern is going to be another Hero Series with Teal with Ron Mexico and Based Inc. So got some great matches. We got Memnarch and Myanodon casting both of those, or all 3 of those matches. So stay tuned for that on Sunday if you happen to be interested in watching some Hearthstone.
It's the Miami's down this Sunday, the week before the Super Bowl. Get him
That's
while
right.
he's here.
Yeah, those of us that are into NFL, I'm sure this next following Sunday is probably not going to happen. So
Those of us that live in Philly are worried about our property.
yeah, you gotta
Grease up those telephone poles, Milo.
That's right. That's what I was gonna say.
I will
No,
be on a
there's no
plane to Houston while the Super Bowl happens, so I'll be fine.
there's not enough grease in all the world to keep people off of those lampposts and light fixtures, whatever else they want to climb. So anyway, but thanks again for our casters, NJO and Rebobson for doing the work to make us enjoy our streams, and hope everybody stays
Anytime.
safe.
And
good
good
out there.
night.
You bet. Take
Have
care.
a good evening, everyone.
I've been looking for something that would give me peace of mind. You